On this video, we're going to go into the number one food that is causing all skin and acne problems. And it's pretty easy to avoid. And there's some good modifications that I want to bring to your attention. So let's dive in and look at this number one food. Why is it destroying your skin? And what can you do about it? Here we go. So, obviously, we all have a lot of different skin types. So if you're struggling with acne or oily skin specifically, your diet may be the culprit. As opposed to a lot of the conversations I have with menopausal women is about dry skin from the loss of estrogen. This video, I want to talk more about how diet affects acne, and it can affect hormonal acne. A lot of women get waves of acne right before your period, or especially when you're going through menopause or oily skin. What is it that is in your diet that's causing that? And for whatever reasons, most dermatologists aren't talking about food, but the food has the biggest impact. And the reason that the food that I'm about to tell you has such a caustic effect on your body is because a lot of people have a sensitivity to it. So any food, just overall, I want to point out that any food that your body cannot break down, it will start to push out through your skin. So if you eat that food and your microbiome in your gut is so decimated because you've been on antibiotics for years and you've been eating toxic food forever, and maybe you're on birth control for decades, and that microbiome is completely void of good microbes, then when you eat a food that your body can't break down or it has a sensitive reaction to, it will push that food out through your skin. So today, that food that we're talking about is dairy products. Now, before you click off and you're like, I knew it. I knew she was going to say dairy products. I want to talk about what type of dairy products and how you can really look at this differently. So let's dive into why dairy causes acne. So first off, I want to point out that there are many different types of dairy products. So we have got pasteurized dairy and we have got raw dairy. And this usually is in the form of cow's milk. Pasteurized dairy is dead food. It means they have heated up that milk so high to burn out all bacteria, including the good bacteria. So there's no probiotics, there's no enzymes in them. And that's why a lot of people are lactose intolerant, is because they heated that food up so much that there's literally nothing in there anymore to help you break it down. So you drink it, the gut's like, I don't know what this is. And so it starts to detox it by pushing it out through the intestinal wall out into your skin. So the first thing is start to try raw dairy, and it has the probiotics, it has the enzymes in it, and see if your acne changes. The second thing is when we are dealing with cow's dairy. This is something I used to tell my patients all the time, and I think it's a really important point. The most helpful or easy to digest food that we can have as humans is mother's milk. Your digestive system isn't fully matured when you're born. It matures within the first three years of your life. And usually you were meant to be breastfed during that time. And if I looked at the molecule size of mother's milk, the molecule size is like this little bitty molecule, very easy for our digestive system to break down. Cow's dairy that most of us are drinking, is really big. It's a big molecule size. So when we go to look at how do we make cow's milk easier for our digestive system break down because it has this mismatch of molecule size, then we've got to look at, can we do it raw, not pasteurized? And what if we do grass-fed dairy where we have more omega-3s in it? Will that help us break down that dairy and make it easier on your digestive system, making sure you don't push it out your skin? So I'm not saying don't drink cow's dairy. I'm saying try organic, grass-fed, raw cow's dairy and see if there's a change, if that's available for you in your state. Not every place can you get raw milk, but it can really be helpful. The other animal milk you could switch it to could be goats or sheep, because those molecule sizes are a little bit closer to cow's dairy. So that would be another thing to think about, is switching just to a different animal. Now, why does animal dairy, cause acne? Well, it's interesting because, again, if we can't break it down, there was this really interesting meta-analysis I found, a 2019 meta-analysis that found that there is a strong link between dairy intake and acne in people of all ages. And they went on to say that nearly twice as much acne for those who consumed pasteurized dairy, pasteurized only a few times a week. And they went on to look at another meta-analysis, and they found that nearly 79,000 people that was the meta-analysis, there was a significant relationship between acne and cow's milk, specifically when we look at dairy from whole milk, skim milk, ice cream, and cheese. So how much of this? And what they found is that 2 glasses of milk a day, people were 44% more likely to develop acne. That study was done in women. So again, we have to remember that, check this out. Remember this. We were meant to drink our own milk. We're not meant to drink the milk of another animal. And when we go to drink the milk of another animal, it can be very difficult on our digestive system. And so your body can't break it down, and it becomes this residue in your gut. And so the body pushes it out, and it pushes it out through your skin. Your skin is the biggest excretion organ. It is a beautiful way to push out toxins. So I'm not surprised to see these studies that are 2 glasses of milk a day, 44% develop increase in acne. So easy solutions. Let's get it raw and get it grass fed, so that you are getting more nutrients in there to help with the breakdown. Now, for those of you who think you have some hormonal acne, I want to point out that when we are drinking milk or we are eating cheese that is not organic, what that means is that they have put hormones into that cow. Growth hormone is a very common one. I want to check this out. This is a really important point, because growth hormone they put into cows, and then that growth hormone goes into the milk, and then you drink the milk, and 2 things can happen. One, you can start to get acne, or if that milk is being given to a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old who's about a prepubescent 10-year-old child, woman, specifically girl, that growth hormone could start to get her period going earlier than is age appropriate. The average age for a girl to go into puberty is somewhere between 12 and 13. That average age is getting younger and younger because of the growth hormone in products like milk. So if you have a 9-year-old and you're seeing some breast buds that are forming, that's not necessarily normal. Get them off of milk so that they're not getting that growth hormone, or put them on a raw, organic, grass-fed milk so you're not taking in those extra hormones. They also know that the dairy hormones cause inflammation and can clog pores. So you're not just getting the alteration to your whole menstrual cycle if you're a woman, but you're also clogging the pores and causing a lot of inflammation.
Okay, you know how when you're trying to get in and out of fat burner, sugar burner, and sometimes you struggle? It might be that you have a metabolic blocker that's at play here. Want to know what those blockers are? Click on the link above and I'll take you straight to a giveaway, and you can have my list of metabolic blockers.
Okay. With that in mind, now that you kind of have a big picture of this, there is another type of dairy that we should talk about, which is fermented dairy. So raw dairy means they left the probiotics and enzymes in there. If you're not comfortable with that, or you can't find that, then do fermented dairy. Fermented dairy means you created your own probiotics and enzymes in there. And there are a lot of different types. There's yogurt. You can make your own yogurt. There's cheese as a fermented dairy. Kefir or kefir, depending on how you want to say it, is also a great fermented dairy. And that they have found, a meta-analysis done in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that there is no evidence of fermented dairy causing acne. Because again, you have the probiotics, you have the enzymes to break it down, so it doesn't have to be pushed out your skin. There was another interesting one out of the American Academy of Dermatology that said, and I'm going to quote this because it is a really, really good quote. It says, while cow's milk may increase the risk of developing acne, no studies have found that products made from milk, such as yogurt and cheese, lead to more skin breakouts. So if you're struggling with acne, I hope this was a masterclass on all the different ways that you can approach dairy. You can go plant-based if you want. You can do coconut dairy if you want. But if you want to stay in animal dairy, hopefully that gave you a really good overview of how you can approach this. Okay. With that in mind, I am going to go to the Q&A section of this video. This is something new that I've been implementing, trying to help you all get the information you need. If you're new to my channel, welcome, subscribe, share what you love. Those of you who've shared, thank you for everything that you share. This channel is for you. These videos come from your questions. They come from you wanting to learn more about your health. And I love that. So please leave questions. Let me know you want me to answer them on a video, and we'll make sure that happens. So here are 3 of the questions that I'm going to answer on this video. One is, are there foods that actually help improve skin? I love this question. I usually only hear about foods to avoid, but what about foods to add in? Yes, whoever asked this, amazing question. So my favorite food for skin is anything that is rich in collagen. So collagen, the primary driver of collagen, you can find in bone broth. So all different types of bone broth, chicken bone broth, beef bone broth. I do buffalo bone broth sometimes, bison bone broth. Bone broth has in it an amino acid called glycine. And glycine heals mucosal membranes. And the inner lining of your intestinal tract has this mucosal membrane. It's like a thin saran wrap or plastic wrap. And so when you drink glycine, what you're doing is you're healing that inner lining of the gut. And now toxins can't get into the bloodstream that get pushed out through your skin. Bone broth is high in collagen. So you need collagen for skin repair. You need collagen to keep skin elastic. So some of the ones that I like is when you make bone broth, you can put like chicken feet in it. You can put the extra skin in there, not just the bones, but all the parts of the animal that you can put in a boil in a bone broth can be really, really helpful and rich in collagen. If you are plant-based, then what you might think about is doing a marine, especially if it's fish, might be good. That can help you if you go in there. My favorite plant-based product for collagen is put out by True Vani. That's Vani Hari, the food babe. I know her. I know her products are phenomenal, and she has a marine-based collagen that you can find in most stores or look it up online. So I like collagen. I like bone broth. The other one that's really good for improving skin is wild salmon because it's high in omega-3s. If you don't do fish, try just a really good olive oil. So like a high polyphenol, organic, extra virgin olive oil that get a small batch. I've been talking a lot about olive oil on my videos lately. So get a very small batched one. And sometimes I just do a scoop a day. So I'll just put it on a spoon or I drizzle it over food. So I really like bone broth. I really like grass-fed beef is another one because it's rich in omega-3s. I really like wild salmon, and then I like olive oil. So hopefully that gives you a wide variety. Okay. How much impact does a diet have on my skin health compared to other factors like genetics, environment, or skin care options? I'm going to say it has equally as much of an impact as all of those other things. So I highly recommend, if you want to have good skin, you have a good diet. If you want to know what your inner lining of your intestinal tract looks like, look at your skin. It is an indicator of what's going on inside your digestive system. So if it's dry, you might not be getting enough oils. If it's got acne on it, it might be that you are pushing toxins out of it. So use your skin as an indicator of how healthy your gut is. I use hair, I use skin all the time as my indicator. The other day, somebody asked me if I colored my hair. I don't color my hair. I purposely leave the grays there. A, I like them. But B, I use them as measurements of where my lifestyle is at. I notice when I'm not eating my favorite foods at home and I'm traveling a lot, the gray hairs pop up a lot quicker. And so we can use the skin as the same way. So when somebody asks what impact does diet have on there, I want to be like 100% impact. There is a direct correlation. So if you have bad genetics, there are some environmental challenges to your skin. Yes, that's a problem. But try cleaning your diet up first and see if your genetics, there's something called epigenetics, and see if your genetics actually behave differently for you because your diet was different. So I highly, highly recommend when we look at skin, we look at our food. Okay. The last question is, if I focus on skin health and anti-aging, will I be sacrificing other aspects of my health? How much crossover is there in these dietary recommendations? I'm not sure I understand this question completely. What I will tell you is that why I like to focus on food and fasting as the foundation, or what I call a fasting lifestyle, why I like to focus on that first is because a lot of times you don't need supplements. You don't need a fancy biohack. You don't need anything else. You just need the basics. Grab the basics and your body starts working well. We did a master class the other day for the launching of my new book, Eat Like a Girl. And Vani Hari, the food babe, was there. And she had a brilliant point. She was saying, try taking all processed foods out of your diet, all the Western standard foods, and see if you start losing weight and feeling better. So eating for your skin health or eating for anti-aging is supporting all other aspects of your health. It is not, it's like 100% crossover to your question. Once we start eating right, once we start learning how to tack on these fasting windows, it gets easier and easier to stay healthy. So don't lose sight of that. So as always, I hope this is really helpful. Keep bringing me your questions, and whatever you do, do not give up on yourself. This stuff I'm giving you here on these videos can be life-changing. You can really control your own health. Remember, you're not a victim to your health. It is your responsibility. And what I hope is that you're learning this the longer you hang out with me, that you're learning more and more how important food and fasting is for every aspect of your health. So as always, I hope that helps.
Okay, where are my gals that are struggling with hormonal imbalance? Bloated, feeling like you're not making progress with weight loss? You need to add these foods in so that you can support better hormonal health. There is a lifestyle that estrogen wants you to live, and there's a lifestyle that progesterone wants you to live.